Hello, everyone. I'm back. I have missed everyone, all of my moms out there, everyone who listens. I missed y'all so much. Like, I started having some technical difficulties with my camera, which is why I'm not even showing my face. It will not work. But I know I had to get back doing this. And I already had wanted to, go on a hiatus for a little bit, but I had to go on an even longer break because my camera just stopped working. So until it get fixed or I get a new laptop, this is how we're going to have to do this. But I'm so glad to be back. Okay, now that you're out of that situation, Cassandra, you have to, because once fear sets in, chose to have children and she didn't, is it possible that she can't even have children? All right, so let's get into today's topic. And the title of my topic is What the Teenager? Okay, so I know a lot of parents out there have teenagers right now. So, I have the luxury of having a teenager, a preteen, and, my youngest is in double digits, but I don't guess you would call a 10-year-old a preteen, but it seems that way, that she's a preteen. But, you have so many ups and downs with the teenagers. It's like, we almost need a support group at this point. So, all right. So this is what's happening. I heard this statement before that when you get ready to leave the hospital with your newborn, there's no manual, right, on how to raise your kids. You only have God in your village. That's all you have. So you leave that hospital with your baby and you're like, oh, they're so cute. They're going through their little toddler stage and, then they go through the different stages and then boom, now they're teenagers. So it's like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't know what I was expecting. Like, I just don't know. I think I was expecting like for my teenager to be perfect. And the teenager that I'm speaking of is a boy. I was expecting for him to be so perfect. Like the baby he was. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting, for him to be so teenagery. I was not expecting for him to be teenagery. I asked him to come on this episode with me. He was like, no. That's how much of a teenager he is. But I love him. Okay, that's my firstborn. It's like I see the growth in him. He is so talented. He's very athletic. He's talented on, the instruments. And, he's on chorus at school, but I've never heard him sing since he was like 3, But what I did not expect is for us to do the back and forth. Like, oh my God, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? Did you do that? So it's like I didn't know when to start letting go a little bit until like right now. Like literally right now. He's about to be 14. He's 13 right now. So we're still like at the beginning stages of, that teenagery stage. So, oh my God, like just the day-to-day stuff is a lot. And then you add on extracurricular activities, you add on school. That is a lot. And I was like, okay, so this is how we're gonna do it, because I had to realize that I have 3 different children and then they're 3 different ages. So now I'm learning how to handle them differently. And when you have boys, it's like you really got to handle them differently because they're different. They're just different. That's the best I can put it. They're just different, right? So, my son is very like outgoing. And sometimes I'm just like, gosh, you are very outgoing. And I was just not prepared for what I was getting. But I know that I was going to be able to get through it, because I'm God's child and he looks out for me. So some nights I go to bed and be like, God, you seen what happened today. You seen what I had to go through with my child today. When I wake up in the morning, I'm just going to expect for it to be a better day. God, you're going to have to get me through this one. He acting up, Lord. What am I supposed to do? I really rely on God. And we're supposed to rely on him for everything. I really rely on him. Sometimes, I have to call, my mom and be like, Mom, okay, so this what happened. I'm gonna need your help with this. Or I'll call my brother and say, hey, I need you to talk to the boys because, boys need a man to talk to them and to get them straight. I thought I would only have to deal with attitudes from my daughter. No, boys have attitudes too. And I couldn't believe it. It's not like, like a feminine thing, but it's very like, why I gotta do it? Why I gotta do it? That's how it is. And I'm just like, I wouldn't dare ask my mama why I have to wash the dishes. I wouldn't dare ask my mama why I have to do the laundry. And see, they got it good because when I was their age, we had a washing machine, but we had to take our clothes outside and hang them on the line. Now, they have the luxury of taking the clothes right out the washing machine and putting them right in the dryer. We had to go outside, hang them clothes on the line, and we had to hang them a certain way. And I wasn't expecting so many different attitudes. Like, I was not expecting that. I was thinking like, okay, if I tell my kids to do something, they're gonna do it right away because boys don't give no attitudes. But I quickly found out differently because when they were younger, they didn't give me much attitude. They were, always wanted to be up under mommy. Now I was like, okay, Ma, yeah, you're doing too much. That's how it is now. And I love them because they will keep you together. They will keep you straight. And they just be like, Ma, no, you can't do that. That's not, I don't know what they say. Like me, I would tell my mom, yeah, that's not what we're doing these days, Ma. But there are so many different experiences that I go through with my teenager and preteen boys. Yes, there are some days where I'm like, what do I do about this? What do I do about that? But I have to remember, like I said, that I am a child of God. And one of his commands is to train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. And that's in Proverbs 22:6. And, and because I know this, like no matter what I experience with my children, the good and the bad, I have to remember, like, I'm training them for life. I'm, teaching them the principles of God. And just telling them that, I know a lot of your friends probably don't pray or whatever, but sometimes when you just need that help and mommy is not around, pray. You don't even have to sit here and say no long prayer. You could just be like, God, I need your help. I'm finna take this test. I studied last night. I'm finna take this test. I need your help. And what calms me, because there are some days where I just be like, okay, maybe I'm not doing enough as a mom, especially with the teenage boys. Like, maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe I'm not putting in as much as I should be instilling in them. But I have to sit down and, sit back and think like, yeah, I am. I'm teaching them, how you're going to have to go through life. I'm teaching them that, it's important to study. I'm teaching them that it's important to pay attention and ask questions in class. I'm teaching them all those things, how to be accountable, how to, be responsible for your own self and for your own actions, to make the right choices. And having teenagers, it's almost like, in my mind, it's almost like I get to have a redo. I'm not trying to live my life through them. No, I'm not doing that. But it's like, I keep seeing this saying on social media: teach your kids early what you learned late. And I'm so determined to teach them what I learned late. Like, I didn't learn about credit until I was like grown. Like, I think I was married with my oldest when I really learned about credit. Like, I heard about it, but I didn't really learn what it was until I was married with one child. But now, I have the luxury and the privilege to teach them about that now. So that way, when they get my age, they would already be 5 to 10 years in as a homeowner. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's important that we not only, of course, teach them what the word says and instill in them how important it is to pray and, build your relationship with God. But it's also important that we teach them how this world works. So when they get out into this world, they know how to operate. They know how to pay a bill. They know how to go on an interview, things like that. And yes, they give me a lot of pushback when it comes to, especially like, their academics. They give me a lot of pushback. Like, oh, we don't have to do all that. Or, the teacher said, she was going to post my grades. Okay, well, I need you to stay on your teacher about your grades. If she said she was going to post the grades on Tuesday, then Tuesday you need to be asking. If she still didn't do it, come Wednesday, you ask until she get tired of you asking. And that's something I learned from my mother. Like, just don't take the first no. If the teacher says she didn't do it yet, well, you keep bugging the teacher until she's done it. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand, teachers, they have so many different classes, a bunch of students, and they have lives of their own. So I totally get it. But I want them to know and understand, because, if they go off to college, I'm not going to be on the phone every night talking about, did you check on your grades? I'm just not going to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, as a mom of a teenager, that even though some days are rough, I take those rough days and I turn it around. Like, okay, this is what happened today. It didn't go like we planned, but you know what? We're going to try again tomorrow, and we're going to put our best foot forward tomorrow. And that's how I approach each day now. Because I'm not a perfect mother. Like I said in the beginning, they did not give me a manual when they gave me those discharge papers. The only thing they gave me other than the discharge papers was information on SIDS. That's it. SIDS is when, they talk about the babies, sleeping in the crib and stuff like that. That's the only other information they gave me other than the discharge paperwork. So there was no manual. We're learning. Just I actually told my boys the other day, just probably a few weeks ago, actually. I said, just like you are learning, this new stage in your life, I'm learning too. I've never had teenage boys. And when my daughter becomes a teenager, it's going to be much different. So I've never had teenage boys. So I'm learning just like you're learning. And so I asked him, I said, give me some grace. I'm going to give you some grace if I feel like you deserve it. Because sometimes y'all do things that you're not supposed to do. And I've told you several times that you shouldn't do it. So I had to ask him, like, give me some grace because I'm learning, and I'm a single parent. So it's not like I'm doing it in the house with someone. Like you're in the house with just me. So can you give me some grace? We can figure this out together. We can find ways that works for the both of us. And sometimes you just may have to try different things and see what works. But the one thing I know that works is prayer. I would never, ever stop praying for my children. They are truly a blessing and a gift from God. And I'm so grateful that God has blessed me with them. No matter the ups and downs, the attitudes, the rebellion, all of that, I know all of that's going to come with children. But that's why we got to speak the word over our children. Know that they're going to be prosperous in this world. Know that they're going to be, great examples of what we're raising them to be, men and women of God. All right, so that is my time with 15 minutes with the mom. And always remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed, like it, and please share it with someone who needs to hear it. God bless.